Okay, guys, welcome. This is the Examiner's Edition. We're here at Factory X in Littleton, Colorado. We're here with some Colorado MMA fight people, as you can see. Guys, thanks for taking the time. I'm going to start on this side. Let's introduce yourself and tell us what you do and who you are.
Rob Tatum. I write for MMA.com. Born and raised here in Colorado. Work as a full-time engineer, but MMA is definitely my passion, so I do anything I can to support the fighters, the gyms, everybody in the state.
Beautiful. Chris?
I'm Chris Camozzi. I'm the MMA coach down here at Factory X. Currently fighting in the UFC. It's my full-time job as a professional fighter.
And you got a big fight coming up?
I have a big fight coming up February 27th in Australia against Kyle Noak.
All right, very good. Ian?
My name is Ian Starr. I'm the owner of CrossFit Littleton and Front Range Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we're all one big facility here along with Factory X Muay Thai, and I train and teach CrossFit and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here, and when I can, very often Muay Thai too.
And where are you located?
At the intersection of Coal Mine and Wadsworth
Okay.
in Littleton, Colorado.
Beautiful. And Mark?
I'm Mark Montoya. I'm the head instructor at Factory X for the Muay Thai and the MMA fight team. Also affiliated with CrossFit Littleton and Front Range BJJ.
Beautiful.
And we are located in Littleton, Colorado.
Awesome. Josh?
I'm Josh Davis. I write the MMAcorner.com website. I'm also the editor for Scrap Fight Magazine, and then I'm a staff writer for MMA Sports Magazine and MMA Unleashed.
Beautiful.
I'm Eric Moya, Factory X Muay Thai fighter. Currently just working with Mark and the guys over here trying to develop something big out of this gym.
From Colorado?
From Colorado.
Beautiful. Guys, we're here to talk kind of roundtable discussion-wise. I'm going to go kind of one by one, just give, let's say, maybe a minute snippet of where we are here in Colorado MMA and where it's going in the future, okay? Let's start with you.
Put me on the spot.
You bet.
Well, it's definitely growing. A few years ago, you might have been able to name one or two fighters from Colorado that were in the spotlight, if you will. Now, there's a number of guys, and it's not all from just the same gym. You've got Chris, recent addition, working his way up, getting on TV soon, hopefully. You've got some other guys finding the sport, guys like Brendan Schaub, who played football at CU. And then you've got veterans like Nate Marquardt, who've been in the sport for a long time, fought in Japan. It's getting bigger. The gyms are expanding. This gym, is over twice the size of when I first started coming over here. The first time I was ever here, and it seems to be a consistent theme everywhere. There's dojos and gyms popping up in mini malls, all over the place. You get different levels. You see the bigger gyms like Grudge, where you have a lot of high-profile athletes, and then you have places, where people are developing and being the stars of tomorrow, and it's great. There's an outlet for everybody. I mean, whether they're a wrestler, a BJJ guy, or just a stand-up fighter, there's now an outlet for this, and it's great for the state. It's great for the sport, and it's only going to get bigger.
I agree. And Chris, how did you get started fighting?
I started wrestling when I was in high school.
Okay.
And developed, I guess, a little bit of a base from there. And from there, I found a BJJ gym down the street from my house, and I went in one day and just kind of signed up and started from there, and I was hooked. And now it's come so much more. There's no more one-dimensional fighters really. MMA
Right.
really has become mixed martial arts. Everybody trains everything. So here we train Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and then CrossFit for strength and conditioning. And that's why what we have down here is great. We're offering all of it in one place. Most gyms don't have strength and conditioning there. They don't have a weight room like we have here. And the goal is just to be more well-rounded, because we got kids training now, that are going to be 10 times better than I ever will be. The sport's just becoming more available to everybody.
Ian, tell me a little bit about how Colorado is like a perfect haven for training regularly, but CrossFit especially. And where do you see the involvement of MMA kind of being incorporated into CrossFit?
Colorado's a great state. I'm from California originally, but I've been here for almost 11 years. And probably shouldn't have said that, huh? I've been here for almost 11 years. And it's a very active state. I think, which makes it very good for us in our line of work, because as a people that live in Colorado, people here are very active and very health conscious, and all the things that we do here are very active and generally good for your health.
And it's really not just about MMA CrossFit, is it?
Yeah, so answering your second part of the question there, CrossFit is basically a core strength and conditioning program, and it's very well suited to MMA, jiu-jitsu, stand-up fighting, as well as a lot of other sports. But it's a very common, whether you call it CrossFit or not, the kind of conditioning that we do here is very has grown quite a bit in popularity through the MMA community, so a lot of people are starting to train in that CrossFit type of method, and it works very well, I believe, for fighters.
I agree. And Mark, obviously your background is Muay Thai, correct?
Yep.
And what kind of growth have you seen in the Muay Thai world transitioning from Muay Thai to MMA locally here?
I started training in '98, so from then until now, it's exploded. I mean, we couldn't find a fight. We basically were paying to fight out of state ourselves, and so it's totally flip-flopped from that, which is great to see. And the majority of the fighters working or fighting in MMA, they're using a lot of Muay Thai for their striking. So you've seen Muay Thai really evolve from the traditional Muay Thai, where you're kind of back on your foot 60-40 to more of a 50-50 stance because of the MMA influence. So Muay Thai's had to evolve a little bit, in my opinion, and I know I've definitely evolved my game and how I teach and train, and so it's pretty cool to see the growth from from '98 to 2010. It's pretty crazy.
And are you seeing a lot more younger kids coming in to learn Muay Thai?
We do. We see a lot of kids. For a while it seemed like karate and taekwondo really captured the kids, but with MMA and its growth, we're definitely seeing a lot of kids, especially some really good athletes in high school. They're doing things like jiu-jitsu and CrossFit and Muay Thai and MMA, and just trying to build and grow their fighting ability, so that one day when they get a chance to step in the cage,
they're ready.
Those kids are going to be beasts. Those are the kids that I'm excited to see.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Where do you see the future of MMA going? I mean, Mark brought up a good point. We're talking about kids being superstars right now. Kids like Chris, literally, that grew up wrestling, and now they're big-time MMA fighters. But I mean, that's just now. Think about 10 years down the road. Where do you see it going?
Well, where it is going to go, it's going to start with the kids. Eventually, and I'm not saying tomorrow, but within the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be Little League MMA here in Colorado.
Right.
And that's where it's going to start for the kids.
Right.
Just like with the NFL or with baseball, basketball, whatever, these kids start young and they, grow their skills at a very young age. MMA is going to be doing the same thing. You see the commercials now, the tap-out commercials with the two little kids training. MMA is going to hit the kids market, and they're going to have an actual venue to where they can compete at a high level at a very young age. I'm a firm believer that within the next 15 years, MMA will be sanctioned in schools. That's where it's going. There's also talk about MMA actually getting into the Olympics, and if that happens, then it's going to affect everyone starting at a young age. So it's definitely growing, and Colorado's at the forefront of that.
Let's talk a little bit about the safety of MMA compared to other sports. Obviously, football has incredible amounts of injuries and dangers associated with it. You're a fighter. Tell me how you see MMA in terms of safety.
To me, truthfully, in the 4 years I've trained, I've never sustained a serious injury from mixed martial arts.
And why do you think that is?
The caliber of the reffing, I think that they're on top of it. I mean, if you watch any of the fights, you'll see when somebody's in a corner to where they can be seriously injured, the ref is literally 6 to 8 inches above them, telling them, defend yourself or I'm going to stop it. And I think that's basically why it's become such a safe sport, because not only that, but I think that fighters have a common respect for each other, knowing that if one is injured in a certain aspect of their body, like their knees or their ankles, they're not going to maliciously attack that part, because like I said, there's a very large camaraderie between two people locked